Hey guys, welcome to the Sun and Tim show. I'm Tim, he is Sun, and we are here after the Bears lost their wild card playoff game at New Orleans 21-9.
Yep.
Sun, how you feeling, bro?
Like crap. Um, Here, I'm just going to adjust my audio really quick. That was about as bad of a game as we've seen the Bears play all season long. We should have seen this coming because this was pretty much the Bears offense outside of what, 3 or 4 games. We should have known this was the Bears offense.
Yep.
We should have known that Matt Nagy's offense is completely inept.
Yep.
The fact that they got Mitch Trubisky the Bears offense, I should say, got about 150 yards, did not convert a third down, was 0 for 9 on third downs, and until they finally converted a third down with a minute left in the game.
This was 4:53. Yeah.
This was an embarrassment. An embarrassment. I don't know how else to put it. I don't think Mitch survives this. At least I hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope Nagy doesn't survive this. I hope Pace doesn't survive this.
Yes.
I want them all gone. This is an absolute. I mean, Chuck Pagano. I want them all gone. This is just an absolute embarrassment of a game for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, it's a shame, that we had such an awesome defensive effort for 2.5 quarters. That actually finally, aside from Eddie Jackson, who has been awful all season, we actually saw a team on defense that was fired up, that was getting some pressure. Our cornerbacks were actually able to cover Michael Thomas, and it's really frustrating because we actually had one of the best efforts out of the year from our defense, and our offense can't do anything. We abandoned the run early. Montgomery for the whole game, 12 carries, 32 yards. And I think, looking at it, maybe Matt Nagy didn't give away the play calls. Maybe it was just that, you cut the field in half. You only got so many reads. You got a disciplined defense. They're going to catch on to you real quick. And Mitch Trubisky was exposed. Dave Montgomery couldn't do anything. Everything was a disaster, son. I mean, that Wims dropped. We were down 7-3 at halftime. We had it, man. If any other team in the playoff, any other teams in this playoff would have won this game. I think Washington wins this game.
Yeah, we have to look at it this way too, Tim. It was 7-3 at halftime, and the 3 points that the Bears got was on a fumble, interception, whatever that was.
Yeah.
We got the ball. The Bears got the ball at the 24-yard line, couldn't even get it in.
Nope.
They were not threatening at all on offense. The Bears had no hope. Their offense was completely stymied by the Saints. They had no shot. Let's be honest about it. Was it a 7-3 game? Yes. But
Yeah.
did the Bears show anything at all in that first half that they could move the ball?
That was a beautiful play design by Nagy on that drop ball. That was the best thing. The only thing I saw that was great on the offense all game.
Yeah, one play out of who knows how many. Look, man, I mean, that play happened in the first quarter?
Yeah.
I mean, they should have been able to recover from that. I mean, if we're relying on that one play to help us sort of tread water or stay afloat for the whole game, dude, we've got more issues. We've got more problems. That was just an embarrassment. An embarrassment. The Bears are not a playoff team. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. And it's. I think jobs have to be lost after this, Tim.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in probably a couple of minutes. You're completely right, man. You're completely right. It was a joke. 7-3 at halftime by the luck of the defense, like you were saying. It's incredible. The second half. I mean, at one point it was 16-17 of time possession. So 16 minutes, 17 seconds, 26 plays to 4 minutes and 50 seconds, 10 plays for the Bears to the Saints in the second half. 150 yards to 36 yards with 10 minutes left, all in the second half. Bears had 8 penalties to 3 points. There was lack of discipline everywhere, lack of execution completely. You have your receiver, Anthony Miller, who was told apparently by coaches for over 15 minutes of what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was going to do, his same antics that he's doing it with everybody, yet he still punches him, probably played his last moment of the game. Just ineptitude all around. Just complete ineptitude all around, man.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, that to me, that speaks to coaching too.
Exactly.
The Bears were not ready to play this game, Tim. I mean, I think this is further proof that 3-game win streak was all a ruse. I mean, the Bears are who we thought they were. They couldn't get any first downs. They couldn't sustain any drives. I don't blame the defense for eventually having to give up points, because when the Bears needed points in the second half, what did they get? 3 and out.
And that first possession where they actually were moving the ball, because Allen Robinson had a couple nice catches. Sack on second and
third down.
Sack on second down. And then sack on second down, and then that's where Anthony Miller gets into that fight.
Yeah. I mean, the game at that point was still in the balance too. It was, but I mean, at any point, did you honestly think that the Bears were going to pull this out? They had showed nothing that whole game. We were relying on hopefully the Bears maybe getting lucky on a couple of plays. The fact of the matter is that the running game could never get going. Mitch was awful. The play calling looked completely unorganized, because you got Mitch in the shotgun, you got Mitch under center. There was no flow to any of the offense at all. It was just an absolute embarrassment. I don't know how else to describe it, Tim. I mean, come on. I mean, what were they doing? What I want to know is, I wish somebody would ask Matt Nagy post-game, what was the game plan? What was the game plan? What were you looking to try to take advantage of? What did you see on the Saints defensive side that you thought, okay, maybe this is an area we can exploit? Anything?
Yeah.
Like anything?
Well, you have the ball with less than 1 minute 40 seconds left, down 7-3. You're going to get the ball when you come back out in the second half, and you're at the 20 of New Orleans, and you don't even try to throw the ball. That's you don't trust your quarterback. It's not because of where you are on the field. You didn't like the position. No, it's because you don't trust your quarterback.
Exactly. The Bears had 2 timeouts. Saints were out of timeouts. I mean, try to get that first down. It was close. It was 3rd and short, still running the ball to Ryan Nall. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to quickly point out the Cleveland Browns are up 28-0 now. So anyways, going back to that possession before the half, it's under 2 minutes to go. It's a 7-3 game. You get the ball at the third quarter kickoff. Why not take some shots? We talked about this before. They had to take shots. They took one shot, didn't convert, and then that was it for the rest of the game.
You know what? You know what I'm confused about, son? You remember that 3rd down play right after halftime where it was right after the sack, and the Bears got the ball at like the 40-yard line, and that was where Mitch fucking throws the ball out of bounds, right? And they could have gotten, if they just, I don't understand. I'm not an NFL coach. I'm not a coach, but I don't understand why you don't have some sort of out pattern or something. If Mitch is going to get in trouble, why don't you get a 5-yard pass right in the middle? Why don't you? They probably got that whole middle area open to get to the 35-yard line to get a field goal, get it to 7-6. It's just like Mitch, I don't understand why a coach can't think, well, Mitch, if you're getting in trouble, let's have these hot reads for you to get an easy gain so you don't have to throw it. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just where my mind is frustrating.
No, you're right. We're not football coaches, Tim. We're not ex-football players, but we do know football, and football is supposed to be somewhat understandable for any of us. I think we can all see certain things that teams do, and they do it successfully. The fact of the matter is that the Bears don't do anything with any success on the offensive side of the ball. That's why we're so confused. That's why we're asking these questions. That's why we don't know. Because to me, the product that we see on the field tells me that they are completely lost too. They don't know what's going on. I mean, look, man, that's how it goes. I mean,
Horrible,
look,
man.
this is not rocket science. This is football. You know, you should understand what are certain packages you run on in certain situations, whether it's second and long, second and short, third and short, where you are on the field, whether you're in midfield, whether you're in the midfield and you want to take a shot in the end zone like the Bears tried to do. These are all things that we as fans know about the game. Why is it that the Bears lack the execution for the entire game? They can't seem to execute a damn thing for 60 minutes.
Well, and it's also knowing your personnel, right? Maybe this is just such a small point, but you notice that Riley Ridley had 2 catches for 36 yards in that final drive?
Yes.
Why the hell wasn't he playing sooner?
We had
You're
Thomas
using a
in
punt
there.
returner you signed in week 14 as your secondary receiver. And Riley Ridley on the last freaking drive gets 2 nice catches plus yards after the catch. And he's just like, do you not know your team? Do you not know?
Exactly.
Like, what is your deal? Like, what? Why weren't you throwing to Montgomery at all? Why couldn't you get the damn ball in Montgomery's hands all game? You could have done a 5-yard pattern right in the middle, let him sit down and do what he did versus Green Bay a few times. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like,
yep. This what
I don't.
this
Am I crazy
looked like?
thinking these things? Like,
no. You know what this looked like? This looked like Bill Lazor and Matt Nagy like having the playbook, and they're like fighting to see which one's gonna which one's gonna get to call the plays in the next series, because each series the Bears looked like we didn't know what was going on. It's so disorganized. It was like, you know, the Bears were really good at running the ball, play action, didn't do that a whole lot. You know, then you're looking at Mitch dropping back, in the shotgun for a lot of this game. And we all know what happens when that happens. When we're asking Mitch to drop back and throw it, he'll throw like maybe 2 or 3 good passes and about 8 bad ones. And it just seems like
that ball to Wims was beautiful, but where was that the rest of the game?
Exactly. Look, man, you watch this game and you could just tell whatever Matt Nagy is trying to do with the Bears offense, it's not working, Tim. Yeah. I don't know if it's the fact that he's so rigid that he's not willing. Like when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, I'm sorry, I'm going everywhere. You look at the Baltimore Ravens, they structure that entire offense around Lamar Jackson and his strengths. Yep. They're like, this is what Lamar Jackson can do. Let's build an offense around him. What it looks like Matt Nagy's trying to do here is he thinks he walks in and is the smartest guy in the freaking room, and he thinks that he knows how to run this system probably without the players to run that system. If you ask me, I don't even know which players can run that system, because when you look, they're all professional guys. How come it looks like it absolutely fails all the time? Like there's no level of success with Matt Nagy's offense, Tim. It just looks terrible.
It looks terrible.
So it looks terrible. I mean, even Chuck Pagano, who we've railed on all season, had some kind of a game plan for the Saints. They did a good job. They did a really good job of bottling Alvin Kamara. They did a really good job of condensing that space from the line of scrimmage about 20 yards out. They were daring Drew Brees.
And we all knew that they were going to wear down. It was only a matter of time, getting their ass kicked in time possession. It was only a matter.
Of course. What are the Bears defense out there for like 40 minutes? Like 40, 45 minutes, the whole game? Eventually, they're going to wear down. Eventually,
Bears are the laughing stock of the NFL tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Look, man, you can't ask the Bears defense to stop the Saints for all that time. Now, did they make some mistakes? Yes, there was a 3rd and 14. They could have cleaned that up. They could have held them to a field goal there. Fine. But listen, things happen. I'm not going to rail on the defense
for
something like that. Let's face it, this was an absolute colossal failure on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep.
This is playoff football, Tim. And the Bears offense is the only side of the game that didn't show up. Saints offense showed up, Saints defense showed up, Bears defense showed up.
Yeah, I don't know if the Saints offense showed up that great, but I mean, it's just what it is.
Time of possession, Tim. The Saints offense converted what on third down? Was it like 8 of 14, 8 of 13? I would say that it was all game. I would say that their offense did enough.
Yeah,
they did enough to win.
I just feel like
fact of the matter,
you put any team in the playoff up against the Saints today, I bet you 11 out of the other 13 teams or 10 out of the other 13 teams win. The Saints didn't play a great game tonight. And the Bears were in this, but it just shows our incompetence. I'm just
I think also we have to give credit to the Bears defense there.
Okay.
I mean, especially in the first half, midway through the third quarter, they did a good job, Tim. I mean, you can only hold down a playoff team's offense for how long? Exactly. I mean, 7 points. Dude, not only did they get 7 points in the first half, they gifted the Bears a turnover at the 24-yard line, which the Bears couldn't turn into 7 points.
What about that Cole Kmet play? What the hell was that?
I just think you mean the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I think that was just a mistake by the officials. The officials thought that Cole Kmet threw the ball at the Saints player when he was actually giving it to the referee. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, more than anything else. I wouldn't say that that's Cole Kmet, not having his head in the game or anything like that. I mean, look, the refs make mistakes too.
Yeah,
and I think that was just a mistake by the referee.
Dude,
I mean, what did you think of that Cole Kmet unsportsmanlike?
It was just weird. I didn't even get it at the time. Like, I was just so like, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on? Because you didn't exactly see it at the moment. You're like, what's going on? And then he almost gets ejected for that. And you're like, I don't know, man. It's just, it's really embarrassing when you're 2 minutes left in the game and you hear on the Nickelodeon broadcast, which was awesome, by the way, that the Bears have 6 first downs and the record low for their franchise is 10. And in a 2020 playoff game, you are 4 first downs below your franchise record for lowest amount of first downs ever in 2020. There's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
There's a problem.
I don't know, Tim. I'm ready to file this game away in the filing cabinet and just sort of, this is just an absolute awful loss.
It's just sad.
It's a disastrous loss. And so I want to move on from talking about the
game. Who is the best player of the game for you today, real quick?
Oh boy. It clearly would have to be somebody on the defense.
Like maybe Tashawn Gibson?
Yeah, Gibson made some plays. You know what? I thought Quinn made a huge third down play, pressuring Breeze, forcing them to punt. Matt got in there. Matt got a wonderful sack that got called back on defensive holding. There's just it's just a lot of I mean, overall, I think
I need to get the game ball to defense, for being down all those players and still holding it up. Major.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's give the game ball to the Bears defense, and that's the only game ball I think we're going to give.